Hey guys, Allison here. Okay, we are on part 5 on our reflections of 5 minutes thinking about heaven as an antidote to anxiety. Again, every day, spend 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, maybe 7 minutes, whatever it is, thinking about heaven, focusing forward to our ultimate destiny. Now, the secret is, as we focus on heaven, we start building it here. Right, we start experiencing it here as we receive the gifts of God. All right, we're preparing ourselves for heaven to be able to receive. Sometimes we think we always have to work for God and do and do and do. And I've often tell people that, in heaven, you're not going to be running your own department. All right, you're going to be receiving. So we have to cultivate that receptivity. Now, one thing that I'm looking forward to in heaven is connection. All right. I think that we're going to have time in heaven. We're going to have eternity in heaven, so it's a lot to think about, right? But the connection between some seemingly difficult events, some seemingly disparate events, some nonsensical events in our own lives, and how they all connected in this journey toward heaven. All right. I think we're also going to see the connection between world events, how things have unfolded in the world that are leading toward heaven. So imagine thinking, take that time to think about, what do you want to know? What do you want to know? Like, hey, this thing happened to me when I was 5 years old. How did you use this, God? Now, as we do that, we can pray also for God to start giving us some of that now, that we ask Him, Lord, show me how this all makes sense. We spend so much time, and I've seen like the people who struggle the most in life are the ones who rail against God's will. All right, and I understand that when we have tragedies, losses, losing a child, it's very easy to just rail against it. We don't want that to happen. Of course, we don't want it to happen. These are terrible things. They're very sad and very troubling events. And yet, we know that God is using them for good, that He never allows anything bad or anything that seems evil or is objectively evil unless He intends to bring a greater good of it. So if we can spend that time thinking about how neat it's going to be in heaven to see all those connections. Imagine just sitting with Jesus and say, okay, well, what did that mean? Why did that happen? What's it going to be like? What could I have done differently? Or why did you allow that? And He's going to show you. All right? As we think about that, think about what's going on in your life now. Ask God for that wisdom, that insight to see that everything in your life happens for a reason, a purpose, and with a mystery. And we're all headed toward heaven, where it's all going to make sense one day. All right? Well, I say we're all headed toward heaven. That's what God wants for us. The only ones who can keep us out of heaven are us. So to think about, what are the connections? How do I just accept things that seem evil without railing against them? And what does that take? Total trust in God, that He knows what He's doing. Now, I can imagine that there were many of the Jews at the time of Jesus that walked away. Right? Judas would be the one, especially, right? That he could not abide this. They wanted a political Messiah. So many turned away. They could not accept Jesus' way. But Jesus' ways are not our ways. They're so far above our ways. So imagine spending time in heaven. It might be with your mom or your dad, and they might be explaining things to you. We don't know how that's going to work, but it's worth spending some time contemplating that we're going to see all of those connections, that God can start to show us some of those connections now, but more than anything, that we accept with faith that God can and will bring good of it, and that in heaven it's all going to make sense, and there are going to be some things we're not even going to ask about because they just won't matter anymore. Right? So I think spend that time thinking about that, 5 minutes reflecting on heaven every day. I hope you find it helpful. Please, again, share some comments, share your thoughts in the comments below the video. and share it, and like and share the video, and share it with others. I hope you find it helpful. May God bless you. May He lead you to heaven every day. Jesus, help me to get to heaven. And He will. He always answers our prayers. God bless you.